in terms of like a holistic design approach, I think we really see that more as I mean, that's just kind of part of our design process, and we see it more as good design practices. So, I think for our project, the things that are really critical are always kind of access to light, access to natural air, and really bringing the landscape into the project kind of as much as possible, and opening the spaces up to the landscape as much as possible. The specific ones usually have to do with noise, with specific projects, but otherwise it's not really something that's discussed too much. It's just something that kind of we know as part of our design, and we kind of let the client know that that's kind of part of our aim for the project. It surprises me, but I think that's also maybe something that they take for granted a little bit. Um, that's going to be addressed, and I think there's different levels of that, but I think our first step is just mostly trying to provide as much kind of natural ventilation means and cross ventilation for the project. How can I make my house more sustainable? That would be kind of a great question. I always love when we get clients where that becomes part of the initial meeting, where it's almost as equal importance to the program, and the actual spaces that they want for their house. I would actually say for the client, the cost questions become the most important, and that it's best to get as much of that information up front as possible, so that kind of you can make the appropriate decisions along the way of the project. I would agree with that. I don't think it's settling. I think it's about prioritizing. So an interesting thing that actually we could implement would be almost like presenting a client with a priorities list for them, which lists a number of things, whether that's cost or sustainability or size of the project or quality, and kind of have them dictate what their priorities are.